There shouldn't be any. And it's just, it's a great... What's up, it's your boy Amy Henning, and today we're talking about women in gaming. All jokes aside, guys, I wanted to talk about this because I hear a lot about people referencing Gamergate lately, and that kind of just, I don't know, pisses me off. I think in general, as far as racism and just feminism in general, I have a hard time because I don't know if it's a humble thing and I'm just a dickhead and think that racism and feminism just shouldn't be a thing to people, or I don't know, maybe it's me. But essentially what I want to talk about is women in gaming, not just video game characters. I think it's important to talk about women in general, people who have, trailblazed, whether writing or, gaming in general, just being an overall kind of, I guess, force in the gaming industry, to be something where it's changed and it doesn't matter what kind of things you got down in your britches. Now, I can talk about pro gaming. There's a big controversy about pro gaming and women in programming. I don't think it is a big deal to say that people make fun of women in pro gaming. I will make fun of pro gaming in general. It's not so much the pro gaming aspect. I think it's fine to be having a career off of it. I think it's more so the fact that people take it seriously as if it's an actual sport, because they're not really putting their bodies on the line. It is very competitive and it is very fun, but I don't think they should, take an approach to have a serious kind of outlook on it, like as if they're really doing something that would get their heart pumping or anything like that. I know it's rude, but that's just my opinion on how I feel about pro gaming in general. There is a woman who I very much respect. I think it's, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but it's Annie Munition, and she is a pro Siege player, and if you guys have seen my videos, you know I play Siege a lot. She's pretty cool. It's not even the concept of being a woman, it's the concept of being a woman, of being a person of the opposite sex and being great at a game that you're also good at. That gets me just, it gets me enamored, and I found it very attractive. I know it sounds weird, I sound very creepy right now, but it's very cool because, you have someone who, as rude as it sounds, that you can play the same game with and also have relations with. See, I made it a lot less worse than I had it in my head. My point is that I think with gaming and pro gaming, I feel like it's very a niche sport, and it should be something, I guess people should, it's got a groove. It's people have a groove in it. I know there was a friend of mine who loves watching the Overwatch League, but I much rather play the game. I think if it was a game that I didn't understand, it'd be one thing, but I think the concept of what I want to say is women can play video games just as well as men do, and I don't think that should be a reason or a problem to be in question, I guess. Essentially, what I'm saying is I don't see there's a difference between men or female gaming. I think if anything, there's situations that I am not too keen on. There's things that women do better than me, I will admit that. I don't have the best memory. I just cut. There's a cut in between there somewhere, and you'll realize that's where I realized that it's like 11 o'clock at night and I left the oven on. That's a thing I did. It's not a joke. And I just ran upstairs to go turn it off. Anyway, women gaming. I think it's just fine. I think we're at the point where we don't really take, people like Lara Croft or, female antagonists, or, female protagonists, and make them over-sexualized. I think it's a good balance of, even men are kind of sexualized sometimes in games. I'm sure there's women who get hot and bothered by Gareth from The Witcher, or Leon Kennedy, just certain people. And, it's a concept of, I feel like there's no gender to it, just like there's no, there shouldn't be any race to it. Not that I don't think there was much race in gaming. There shouldn't be that big of a deal as far as race in gaming. But the point that we're going to focus on is women in gaming, and I think that is something that it eludes me as far as the problem with it. I don't see why men should be able to, if a woman enjoys a game, they should enjoy it. With the woman I mentioned earlier, Annie Munition, she kicks ass. and I find that very attractive. I am taken at the moment by a woman who is also much smarter than me, and not very good at video games, but it's still the concept of it's just a concept of, I don't see why women couldn't do exactly what men could do in a aspect of video games. Not saying that there's just video games they can do, but I just think the concept of video games and women shouldn't be a hard thing to grasp. As far as writing, as far as doing all that stuff, I think it's the same as movies. Women in gaming, Amy Hengrig or Amy something. She wrote the Uncharted 2 story, and it's one of my favorite stories of all time. It plays out like a movie. It plays great. There's other games she's done that I have enjoyed, not as much, but it's just pretty damn good to be focusing on the fact of what she's got in between her legs. And I just think it's a stupid way of thinking nowadays, and I feel like women in gaming should be important. There's strong female protagonists. There's Ellie from Last of Us. There's the new Lara Croft, which is so much more developed, and I guess so much more developed and interesting now that she's actually a person and not just a bunch of pixels that's over-sexualized. And I mean, it's the concept of just people being people. I mean, video game characters are not real, but still, it's just like you want to have the feeling of this is a real person and you can relate to them just like in a movie. And I think that women have a chance for that as well. I think a lot of women should be able to relate to video game characters and not have to worry about, wondering if Master Chief is a man or not, or a girl. I mean, it's the concept of there's characters out there who should be able to be relatable to women. I mean, you look at Metroid. Metroid is a woman character who kicks ass. And it's just the concept of, in gaming, whether it's writing, whether it's pro gaming, whether it's characters in general, women should have a spot somewhere in there as far as, being able to relate and being able to enjoy that medium. And I think that's an important part of video games, that, sex shouldn't be important. Yeah, and that's it, I guess. I just want to talk about that today. I hear a lot of stuff about, Gamergate and other bullshit with pro players being... There was a pro player recently who had went and pretended to be a girl because... or he pretended... Or maybe it was a girl who pretended to be a guy, I forget. Point is that there was a big controversy because they didn't get as much recognition until they, someone found out that they weren't a real person at all. It's the concept of, you shouldn't have to be treated differently because of your gender. And, it's the concept that should be kind of dumbed down and used to by now, but I feel like that some people still find it to be a stupid concept. I mean, when me and Waffle, the guys from Waffle, Bones and all them, Bones makes it a joke to say, yell girl when he hears a girl playing on our team. Because it's funny. It's funny that joke of the white knighting type of just a-hole who thinks he's different from this female character who can play the same fucking game that, they can. I think it's one of those things that Bones does ironically, and I think it's funny, because it's, it's ironic kind of, I guess, joke. But other than that, it's just like we've played with plenty of female characters, whether I've played Overwatch, Siege, just anything in general. And it's just a concept of women can enjoy these games just as much as men do, and I don't think that should be a concept that should be kind of far-fetched. And to be honest, to me, it just seems ridiculous that it's the thing. Anyway, I think that's enough talking. I have heartburn, and I'm having a hard time talking in general. I have to go get my pizza out of the oven that I left in there earlier. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a great day, and, enjoy your game, whether you play it with a girl, or you're a female, or you're a male, or you have both, or, whatever the term you want to call it, whether you are a transgender, whether you are a female, whether you are bisexual, whether you're a lesbian, whether you're a male who is gay, it's just fine. As long as you enjoy the game that you play, it's all about enjoying the video games for what they are, and that you just love them for just being the games. So, thanks for watching, and one love, I guess, and you know, I love you like a fat kid loves cake. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. And it's just, you know, it's a great movie. That and Beverly Hills Cop are one of my two favorites by him. And so pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much it. My point is that for this new movie, supposedly the plot is rumored to be taking